we discuss the one numerical problems. If frozen orange juice concentrate is packed in a 6-ounce cardboard packets, these cans are formed on a machine by spinning them from cardboard stock and attaching a metal bottom panel. By inspection of the can, we may determine whether, when filled, it could leak either on the side of a seam or around the bottom joint. So there are only two possibilities, because the can is made by the cardboard. So when we make a cylindrical shape, the one seam which is pasted, and at the bottom we are making a metal. So there are only two possibilities: either the orange juice leak on the lateral sides from the seam or at the bottom joints. So such a non-conforming can has an improper seal or on the either side of seam or a bottom panel. Set up a control chart to improve the fraction of non-conforming can produce by this machine. So for this we are taking the 30 samples, and in each samples there are 50 Ks. That means this is the M and this is the N. So we are taking 30 samples, and every times we are randomly select the 50 Ks from a lot, and it can be selected half an hour interval over 3 shifts. That means in every shifts we are collecting the 50 Ks. Now these are the results of these, the 1 to 10, 11 to 20 and 21 to 30. So in the first sample, when we collect the 50 Ks at the beginning, we observe that when we inspect all these 50 Ks, we observe that the 12 cans are non-conforming. That means there are some leakage either in a lateral sides or a bottom panels. In the sample 2, the non-conformings are 15. In sample 3, it is 8. In sample 4, 10, 5, 4, and so on. So at every time we are collecting the 50 Ks and we inspect whether all the 50 bottles confirm or non-conforming. Non-conforming is defined either due to the leakage of the juice from the bottles. So these are the 30 samples we collected randomly in a regular interval of time, and these are the defective bottles during the inspections we obtained in the various samples. As we already discussed, how can we calculate the fraction defective? The PI cap is the fraction defective. So instead of number, because we are drawing a P chart, so we need a fraction defective. So this 12 divided by 50, then we get this 0.24. 15 divided by 50, 0.3, 8, 0.16, 10, 0.20, 4, 0.08. So and so this, in this way we have to calculate the value of the fraction defectives for all 30 samples. Then we calculate the P bar, that is sigma I equals 1 to M. So di over mn. So we can sum of the sigma di, we sum all the number of defectives, so it is 347, and the number of samples we are collected, that is 30, and in every samples we are taking the 50 Ks. So with the help of this we calculate the P bar, and the value of P bar is 0.2313. So the P bar is an estimate of the true fractions non-conformity. So P bar is nothing whatever the defectives we are calculated, so we take the average value of the defective of all 30 samples. And with the help of this P bar, the formula we already discussed in the previous slides, we calculate the UCL and LCL. UCL means upper control limit, LCL means the lower control limits. So here the upper control limit is the P plus the square root of 3 P bar 1 minus P bar over N, that is the value is 0.4102. Similarly, we calculate the lower control limit, that is 0.0524. So in this manner we calculate this is the center line, and this is the upper control line, and this is the lower control lines. So with the help of these three we start drawing. So here we note that the 2 points from the sample 15 and 21 above the control limits, so the process is not in a control. So the point must be investigated to see whether an assignable cause can be determined. So when we marking all the points in a P chart, we analyze that the sample number 15 and the sample number 21, they are beyond the upper control limits. Now we start analyzing the non-conformities which are not in a permissible limits. Then we analyze the cause or determine the cause, and whether the cause is assignable cause. So it can be determined from the sample 15. It indicates that the new batch of the cardboard. Then we see during the process what happens. During production of the cane, what happens when the sample 15 we are taken. So we have to analyze that lot, what happens in a particular lot. Then we observe that in this particular conditions the cardboard stocks are changed, or we have to change the previous cardboard roll is consumed, and in the sample, when we collect the sample number 15s, we are using a new cardboard stocks, whereas in the sample 23 was obtained a relatively inexperienced labor. That means in this particular during the shift change, when we taken a sample number 23, we observe that at this time or during this time a inexperienced labor or operator had been assigned temporarily to a particular machines on which we are collecting the samples, and this could account for the high fraction non-conforming obtained from the samples. That means there are so many other reasons also. So this is one of the way we have to analyze why the non-conformities in the sample number 15 and 21 are beyond the upper control limit. So in such situations we have to eliminate the 15 and 21 number samples, eliminated, and again we revise the control limit. So we have to remove these two datas, and again we calculate the sum of the number of defectives in remaining samples. So now out of 30 we remove the two samples, so total number of samples we have taken, that is 28, and the number of canes we collect in every sample, that is 50. So with the help of this we have to again we calculate the value of P, and that is 0.2150, and with the help of this again we calculate the upper control limit and lower control limits, and with the help of these three data again we draw the new P chart, that is in the bottom sides. So here we revise the control limits, we draw the control line, and these are the upper control limit and lower control limits, and mark all the 28 points now. again we found that these 2 points are beyond the control limits. That means here we found that the 21 sample crosses the upper control and analyze of data does not produce any reasonable cause for this. So we decide to retain the point and the same control limit is used for the samples. That means in these samples we have to analyze what are the problem behind why this particular samples having a value above the control limits. If no assignable causes detected, then we are not changing the control line. So with the help of the same control limits, we can draw the control chart.